Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Omar. It is August 28th, 2020, 8:13 p.m. And I wanted to make a video talking about my trades in PSV. Talk about the psychology, how I mapped my support resistance, how I knew what to risk, how I knew to go long, how I knew to go short, and just talk a little bit about what's been going on. It's been a while since many months. I think the last time I probably made a video was maybe in March. I think, I'm not sure, but it's been a while. And I've been saying I was going to make a video for a long time and I haven't, and I want to get back to it. Especially now I'm gonna, I obviously I still trade. I trade my small caps, but I'm about to really take this options journey a lot more seriously. So I'll be sharing that with you. For those of you who want access, I got a room. So if you want access to the room, just I'm gonna put the link. I set it so that anybody can click it and access the room and come join and hang out with us. It's free. I don't have any, I don't charge anything. It's just a bunch of guys who just enjoy trading. At the room ebbs and flows. Sometimes it's live and sometimes it's not. I think it'll get to a point where we'll have daily activity. But I've been in several rooms, and to be honest with you, none of the rooms, even when they have hundreds of members, is really active with hundreds of members. It's always just a handful of people who are generally active, what I'm seeing at least. So so I've been trading my first 2 months this year. I did amazing, the best 2 months of my career. And then I've been flat. Like March, COVID came. I was working crazy hours trying to trade. I make money, I lose it all. I make money, I lose it all. I just been up and down, up and down, up and down. But this last, I want to say, month and a half, I've been doing really good. I'm working out. I think a lot of it's because the gyms were closed. I'm in New York, so it's just been crazy here. But I'm getting back to it. So let's talk about trading, and let's talk about a couple of things. So I had said that I was gonna post some call outs, and I haven't been on Twitter. I don't know. I see all the bullshit on Twitter. It's just not what it used to be. I don't think so. It's a lot of bragging, and it's not informational, and just a lot of frauds, and seeing these young, impressionable people who don't really understand that they're supporting people who are ripping them off. It just makes me kind of sad. So it's just, just not that active on it no more. But I'm going to try to be much more involved. So with that said, the way I got into this PSV trade, and we're going to talk it through, I'm going to try to keep this to 15 minutes. Was I have a Momo scanner. So I have E-Trade Pro. I have F1, which is where I take a lot of these small cap trades. If you want to talk to me about F1, join the room and I can give you like my opinion on it. I think it's worth getting. If you want to avoid PDT, there's nothing is offshore, so anything's possible, but so far it's been good to me. So I have this Momo scanner that helps me find stocks that are like gapping or moving really fast and with high bursts of volume. So I literally got back home from the gym. I sat at my desk. This is the first stock I saw, MRF. Stock looked shitty, and I just start scrolling back and typing tickers. I typed PSV, right? So when I typed PSV, it was maybe a couple of minutes after 12:42. So I had posted I'm short at 97 cents. So now let's talk about why I went short 97 cents. So this is the PSV chart. This is the 5-minute chart. Now I'm telling you guys, the 5-minute chart to me is the best time frame if you want to day trade, whether it's small caps or large caps. I'm going to show you how easy, how I identify my risk, and how I was confident in my trades, because we're going to talk about all the trades I posted, why I went short, when I covered, why I went long. So this is the PSV chart. This is the 5-minute time frame. This is the 1-minute time frame. This is the 15-minute time frame. This is the day. Actually it says 4-hour day, but 5-year 4 days, but it's daily. It's a daily time frame, right? When you look at the chart, any chart you look at, right, anytime you want to take a position, you want to check two things. You want to look at the daily history. Is it a stock that just spikes and runs, or is it a stock that spikes and fails? When you look over here, look at this: spike, fail, spike, fail, spike, fail. Shit went from 80 cents to 305 this day and then dumped, right? So it has a history of dumping, so more than likely it's going to dump. So I checked that immediately, really fast. And then the second thing I checked to see if there was news. When I clicked live news, I didn't see any news. And then I checked, I went to Yahoo Finance. I didn't see any press releases. I didn't see anything. So I'm like, this shit shouldn't be up, So that was like, all right, this is a stock that is going to unwind at some point. So this movement to me is probably short squeeze, you know. So when I saw the stock, it had just had this move where it gapped up to 105, and I'm sorry, it had gapped up to right here, yeah, to 107. It gapped up, and then right in here. So this is what I do. If you watch my previous videos, I always say resistance, and then I would have you put a line here, right, at that 104. But really, what I've learned is the real resistance is right where the body is. You see where that body is? That's where all the people got caught. They're stuck there. So that's what I'm risking off of. So when I went short, and I said I'm short 97, and my initial price target is 102, but I think I could have swore I said, oh yeah, I didn't put my risk. Okay, but so let's talk about that. All right, so I'm at my line here because now let me explain what this is. These candles, this is like a script that I have. So when you get this magenta candle, that means that the stock is trading 3 times higher than the relative average volume. So that's telling me there's a lot of volume. When you see this orange candle, that means the stock is trading 2 times the relative volume. It's a cool script that I got. I'll show you to a website. The website I have is not specifically like this. I had somebody change it for me a little bit, but I'll show you where you can find these cool scripts. So the stock is gapping up, and I see right here it's 3 times the relative volume. This candle's 3.3 million shares traded in this 5-minute time frame. So I mapped the line here, and I'm like, all right, this stock went from 50 cents to 98. It's nearly $1. It's probably gonna get stuffed here and dumped. So I'm like, you know what? This is a good risk reward. I could take a starter, and if I lose, so what? I cut my losses. So right here, when I saw that it's stuffed, and this is the 1-minute time frame. So let me just zoom out so you can see it here too. Let me just zoom out. So when I see it, you know, like I see it like kind of stuffed here, and then it kind of like pulls back, right? But what happens is it pulls back and it's looking like it's going my way, but then it finds its support. I didn't cover. I should have thought to cover, because you know, if he pulls back, you can see that right here, this is some strong support, 92 cents, and this is where buyers stepped in, and this is, you can see the body of the candle. So there's a lot of support right in this candle, a lot of volume here, and it held. And I should have took my profit, but I didn't. I thought, you know, that it was just gonna dump, and it didn't. You see it held, and that should have told me right there that this was gonna change, and it did. Actually, in my room, I was telling people. So this is when I told everybody I was short, and then I said, what is it? Let me see when I short 97, and then low risk trade. Low risk trade looks strong, may have to take it out. And I meant to say have. I typed this fast, because what I noticed was at this time was that it was finding support on that pullback right here. And the 5-minute, that's what tells you. The 1 minute's a lot of noise, but the 5-minute gives you a good barometer. And you see how that wick, it got bought up there. So that's when I noticed it was starting to rise up, and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna take an L. So what I did at this point was, like, when I saw it break above here, and I'll pull up the 1-minute time frame just so you can see. Let me just pull it back up the 1 minute here. So I was like, shit, you know, it broke above. So right, it gaps above. So I was risking the high. It broke the high. I took my loss. So I covered, right, my short. So I took a loss. But then this is what I saw. I'm like, hey, if it holds $1, I'm going long. And when it pulls back, it holds the $1. And this is like it's called a death candle. Sometimes when you get this wick, it means like the stock trend may be reversing. And into this candle, I went long. So let me pull back the 5-minute candle. See? Because I wanted to see the 5-minute candle close above this, letting me know that buyers are in securely. And if it breaks, and if it doesn't hold, and I go long, and it breaks down, then I'll take my loss. You know, or you know, let's say I want to give a little more time to work. I could have risked 92 cents. You know, it depends on how much shares I'm in and how much I want to risk. You know, so it really depends. But that's why I went long 103. All right, I went long 103 because I was like, the momentum is still strong. So I went and I rolled this up, and I sold right into this push right before the halt. I actually called. So remember, you buy into weakness and sell into strength. That's how you want to do it. And right into here, I got covered. I sold right into this, and I got executed. I think it was 125, and then the stock got halted. It got halted. So it got halted, and when it got halted, this is how I knew the backside was coming and how I knew to go short. So, right? So I sold my long PSV at 125, risking 128 if it fails. Oh, now I sold my long. Now I'm short at 125, risking 128. It fails 115. It should dump first to 108, then back to 1. We'll see, right? Because nobody knows what a stock is going to do, right? So this was my thought process. Right? I'm like, all right, this fucking stock went from, 50 cents. It's up over $1.38. It was halted. We know it has a history of gapping and crapping, right? So we know that more than likely this thing is ready to give it back. Now, I'm going to remove all my lines just so you can see my thought process, right? So the stock dumps, right? Now, remember what I said. It's a big candle on this bounce, right? This is the highest point at this moment. This is the dump. It gaps up right into this area, right here. Right into this area, right? Right into 26, right 26, 128. All right, and I think on the 1 minute time frame, I think I had looked at that at that moment, and that's why I was like risking off that 126, 128 level. So I had mapped that line right here. I'm like, oh, okay. This is where buyers are stuck right now. So it gaps up back to 138 again, right? It dumps, and then when it bounces, that's when I knew I'm short. I knew I was gonna go short, and sure enough, actually no, I'm sorry. Right when it bounces here, so let me pull up the 1 minute. So it gapped up, right? It gapped up, it breaks down, and it pops. Right here is where I knew that this was gonna fade. And why did I say 115? Well, if you look at the stock, right, it was heading down to 115 because when it started dumping, I'm looking at where it pivoted. Well, this is where I got the $1 from. This is where it started, and then I got the 115. What did I get the 115 from? Because I said at first it was heading to 115. I'm just trying to remember what I was looking at in my stocks. It might have been, oh, right here. I think on the 1 minute time frame, I had this section right here. You see how these two candles here meet? You see how the top here? So this is where buyers were caught on the top. This is where buyers jumped in. So right here, that's why I thought when it was gonna dump, it was gonna dump at first to 115. But technically, the real pivot was right here at that $1 level. So what happens? So let's say so I went short and I held it. It came down to 108, popped back to 115. I was risking 128, but really what I meant was 126. And look where it pops back up to, guys. It dumps down to this level, right? Which is, and I think on the 1 minute, if we just zoom, if I just like right here, this is why it pulled down all the way here, because this is kind of where it dumped. You see, this is where it dumped and this is where it bounced. So that's why I went down to 108. But when you look at the stock, right, stocks bounce. You don't want to short into a dump. You want to short into a pop. So what happens is, right, the stock dumps, finds support, shorts cover, and then it gets up. Look at where it rejects, right here. That's no coincidence, guys. There's no coincidence. This is where all the people got caught. So what they do is you get all that selling pressure, and then it dumped, and I just rolled all this all the way fucking down. I got out right in this candle, and the reason why I said because I said you might see a pop at 92, and it really didn't happen. The pop came here, which was the other area, because this is where the previous pivot is, right? This is where it kind of like found support and then took off. But the reason why I thought it would happen at 92 first as opposed to 82 was right here, because Look at this. This is where all the buyers got caught, and this is where all the buyers stepped in, and they got caught up here. So there was a lot of support in this 92 level. So I thought it would like bounce here, go back to $1, and then dump. But it actually came all the way down to 82, and then back to 108, which was, all right, previous resistance, okay, which I had mapped, right? It was a previous resistance level, and then dumped. And that's it. And a lot of buyers, like guys, just buy these like covers, even though they know the stock is on a downward trend. They'll ride this quick momentum up, and that's how I got into the trade, guys. That was my trade. That was my thought process. It's support and resistance, guys. Where are the buyers and where are the sellers? That's what you need to know when you get into a trade, and you can apply this to any stock. So I hope that makes sense. Why I got in, why I got out, why I was looking to risk, how I map my levels. If you want to get these scripts, you can just go to this website called ThinkScript. They got tons of free indicators that you can add to your Thinkorswim. They even have this thing called, I think it's what's new or Explore. Is it Explore? I think it is. There's oh yeah, and then you pick a section. So like if you want these support and resistance scripts, they're free. You just go in and you just add them. So they got a lot of cool scripts. I found my script, this volume indicator, and one of these questions, it was like somewhere in here I found it. But if you want access to the room, I will send a link, and come join us and trade with us. And sometimes we trade, we'll trade live on the mic with all of us in the doing options and stocks. So and I'll be doing a lot more videos about this, maybe Sunday or maybe even tomorrow, because tomorrow may rain. I think in New York it's gonna rain all day. Maybe I'll do like a watch list video for everything. I said I would keep this 15 minutes. It's at 16 minutes, but I hope you understand why I'm mapping the levels I'm mapping, why I'm risking, and why I'm using the 5-minute time frame as my key barometer. But I also watch the 1 minute, and I look at the daily, and also the 15-minute too sometimes. But the 5 minutes critical, right? So I hope this found as well. Like, subscribe, share. Let me know what you think, and have a great evening, guys.